Sonic wins! And a straw poll. Wonderful. Now we're gonna start fucking playing. It's all over. I hate Tails' voice in this game. Sorry if seems like there's some frame skipping going on. This is being played on a 360, and for some reason it kind of has some issues doing the cutscenes. I don't know. It gets kind of funny with the emulation, so it may not look perfect. So here's a question. Why bother writing it down if it's just like a video paper? Also, what the fuck is a video paper? Like, I don't even understand how that's supposed to work. You know, like, it's like, it's paper, but video! Ah, quick, here, have a video paper! Tell you, frickin' Omega Metroid is awesome. Thank you for the follow, Omega Metroid. Alright, let's give this game a shot. The reason people seem to really want me to play this game is that I've basically never spoken a word about it. Outside of occasional references and the fact that I'm definitely going to review it someday. But I never really talked much about it, so I'm going to point things out as I play. And hopefully give you guys sort of a rundown of what I think of the game. I don't think it's a bad game, but I think it's a very flawed game. Very flawed game, for a variety of reasons. Which I'll point out. Mostly, part of it's down to the control, which admittedly, at the moment, is not as bad as I remember it being. So that's always a plus. And Jane the Red Queen is awesome. Thank you for the follow, Jane the Red Queen. That's a pretty fucking edgy name, by the way. I like it. Alright, so anyway. So, as you notice, I keep getting these, like, orbs, and they're leveling me up. And that key is how I get into the special stage, by the way, which I definitely will probably attempt to do. Because you need to get all the Chaos Emeralds to unlock the final stage. There's actually a lot... One of the big things that's positive to say about this game is that there's a lot of classic references and game mechanics, even down to the level designs. It looks, you know, like a classic Sonic stage. You can see with the checkerboard walls over there. They designed it, you know, kind of like the older games, and the whole having to get the 7 Chaos Emeralds, like in terms of like using special stages. This is like the last game before Sonic 4, I believe, that had special stages. Actually, scratch that. Sorry, I believe the advanced games, at least 2 of them came out after this. So those as well. But I mean, in terms of, I don't know, would you consider Sonic 4 a main series Sonic game? No one likes to talk about it. And who can blame them? Anyway. Though as you have probably no doubt noticed, I am playing as 3 characters at once, which is the main gimmick of this game. That you get to use 3 characters at the same time as a team. And, that's an interesting idea. And, that's the Team Blast, because each team has one. I'm just using it to kill a bunch of enemies because I fucking can. So, it kind of reminds me, in a way, of Knuckles Chaotix, where different partners could give you different abilities. It sort of carries that over from that game. Which, thank you for the follow, 10 cents 6. Now, that being said, it's kind of funny that I say that, because the Chaotix, as you probably noticed from if you were here when I was selecting my characters, the Chaotix characters are in this game, outside of Mighty, who nobody likes to talk about, I guess, are one of the teens, which is their return. I think at this point, it was probably like 8 years after Knuckles Chaos. I don't know the time frame. I think this game came out in 2002? Somewhere around there, and Chaotix was released in 94, 95. So it was like 6, 7 years since we had seen those characters, really, outside of the comic books. Because Archie doesn't give a fuck about using all the characters, just all the time. 2003, thank you, Freak. Appreciate that. But, so, I do think it's funny that they use the team elements and introduce the Chaotix. It makes me wonder if during development, someone was like, hey, if we're going to do this, it's kind of like Chaotix, you want to bring those characters back? We need a 4th team anyway. And like, oh, I mean, it's a perfect opportunity to do that. And this is like the one game where I don't necessarily mind the fact that they put in a ton of characters. Because one of the big complaints from fucking casuals is that Sonic has too many characters that aren't Sonic. I only want to play as Sonic, and then I'm going to play a game that's just Sonic, and then I'm going to bitch about it. Because there aren't enough characters, because I don't know what I want anymore, and I just like complaining about Sonic because I'm not really a fan of the games. I'm just a dickhead who thinks I'm good at reviewing games. And, you know, that could be applied to any number of professional reviewers that I can't stand. This game actually is like the one time where they utilize the fact that they have a ton of these characters. Mostly because the gameplay is centered around the fact that you have all these characters in 4 different teams. They kind of have a reason to be there. Everyone contributes something. So it works really well, I think, for the game in that regard. Other differences, they did a lot of the weird things in this game. The level up system I pointed out earlier, you can level up the characters as you play each level. Right now, everyone's max. So they're basically their moves do more damage and do different. They do different animations. As you can see, the physics are a bit strange in this game. If I wasn't max level, I would be able to show you that the fact that the enemies actually have life bars in this game. There's like counters. You have to hit them a certain number of times, and this is like the first time in a Sonic game where they did that, where the enemies actually don't die in one hit. It has to, you know, you need a counter outside of bosses, of course. The regular enemies take multiple hits to do, and that's the thing that's really, they've tried to continue it into other games past this, and it's actually one of the things I don't like about the game. I don't really like the decision. I know why they did it to make the level up system feel like it meant something, but in this game, it makes it very tedious. Also, you will like never see me get higher than a C or a B because the rating system of this game is so. I think it's more. It's more. How do I want to put this? It's meaner. It's pickier. Like it's really fucking hard to get a high rank in this game. Now I've entered one of the special stages. Basically, how you get to a special stage is you have to get through the level with the key. There's a key. There's like 3 keys in each level. If you get through the level with one of them, you'll be able to enter the special stage. Now the reason why that's tricky is because if you get hit once, you lose the key. One time. So it can actually be pretty tough in the longer levels, and you kind of need the faster teams, namely Dark or Sonic, in order to get through the later special stages, which get very hard. This is one of the easier ones. I could do this with Team Rose and be fine. But as you can see, it's kind of reminiscent of a Chaotix or even Sonic 2 special stages. I think it's closer to Chaotix's, honestly. But you're getting basically just getting a bunch of orbs. You just grab the orbs, and you keep your speed up. And as long as you keep the orbs up and keep the timer down, you'll be able to get the Chaos Emerald. And they work pretty well. There isn't too much of a... very rarely... I think you can run on the ceiling. You really never have a reason to. But you can do it. Anyway, and yeah, I can, like, speed dash and go really fucking fast if I want to. As any character. As you can see, going on the roof just generally does not help you because there's no orbs up there, and you really need those because the orbs give you the speed dash. That's basically what they're for. So you can keep hitting the checkpoints and get to the end of the, well, the, whatever you want to call this, the tube. See, I could have done that, but, and like I said, the first one's generally pretty easy. I have almost a minute at this point, and I just won. I mean, it really is not very hard. The first ones, but the later ones actually get pretty fucking difficult. Although that one apparently was not for a Chaos Emerald because that was first act. Okay. I think how it works then... there's a few things I don't remember. This game has been a while. I think you actually have to get it on the last act of each area. You have to get the key there. It can't be the first act, otherwise it'll just give you a ton of lives, as you just saw. That is what I'm thinking right now. I could be wrong. We will learn. I will remember stuff. Like, mind you, the last time I played through this game 100%, like all the way through, was like 15 fucking years ago. I mean, that's how long it's been. You have to think about that. So, well, it would be more like 12. But still, it's been over a fucking decade. Okay, give me some fucking slack. Because this game has some serious flaws with it. I think the biggest flaw, though, is that this game came out right after. It was A, Sega's first multi-platform release after the death of the Dreamcast, and then B, it was the first mainstream Sonic game released after Sonic Adventure 2, which, even to this day, are kind of big shoes to fill. So, yeah. So, I think that's actually part of the reason why people were so hard on this game initially, even Sonic fans, because I'm gonna sit here and say the game isn't that bad. I know it's got things to like about it, but it is not anywhere close to as good as Sonic Adventure 2. And which, I mean, to be fair, not much is in the way of 3D Sonic games, but this really didn't cut it after that game, especially considering people were still disappointed that Sega was releasing multi-platform. And really nobody, the fans didn't really like that. I mean, you know, I felt weird playing. I played this originally on the PS2, and I felt strange. Like it was strange to see Sonic on not Sega at the time. You know, he'd been like the mascot for them for so long. They'd been on their own with their own consoles, and all of a sudden, oh, now he's on Sony and everything else. And it's like, that doesn't make sense, no. But, you know, we got used to it, obviously, because that's the way it's been for, well, since the Dreamcast died. Mr. Cake Dragon Man is awesome. And if I look away from the screen to see when people do that during the later levels, I'm gonna fucking die horribly. Let's see what the chat's doing. Looks like you guys are talking about the shit I'm talking about. So, yeah. And I wouldn't even say, honestly, Paul, Nintendo didn't really win the console war against Sega. They kind of just stayed alive. Sony's really the one that forced Sega out. Like, Sega really was not concerned about the N64 nor the GameCube. It was the PS1 and PS2 that got them. I mean, the PS2 was basically the reason they cut the Dreamcast off early, which I think, in retrospect, was probably a mistake. Because they reacted badly, like you know, knee-jerk reaction to PS2's initial launch sales, which, you know, if you're gonna panic like that, yeah, and just be like, okay, console's done now, like, that doesn't make any sense. You know, there were ways they could have handled it better. But, you know, I wasn't there, I don't, you know, claim to understand their decision-making processes. It's, you know, been years since then. I think I can get over it. Plus, I owned a PS2 and a PlayStation. I can't talk. I actually owned a PS1. I didn't own a Saturn for years. Partially because I didn't even know it existed. Secondly, even if I did know it existed, what the fuck am I gonna play on that? Sonic R? Yeah. Okay, that's great. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. That's not a thing I'm gonna do. So I mean, fuck. What are you gonna do about it? Ah, Jesus Christ! And I know you can barely hear him, but like the characters talk a lot in this game, much like Sonic Boom, and Tails' voice drives me nuts because this is like first of all, this is like the third game in a fucking row where his voice actor changed because he grew up too fast, and I hate his voice in this game because he sounds so nasally. He just sounds like he's got like a really bad cold. And later games made it a little bit better. I stress a little bit because Shadow didn't make it better at all, and neither did Riders nor Next Gen. But his current voice actor is fine. You know, Oh yeah, that's what happens when you know, Knuckles goes full tier combo. It looks he apparently he can make fire. That's the thing Knuckles is capable of doing. Now you know. The more you know. Anyway, let's carry on, shall we? Now, if you haven't noticed yet, because I love pointing it out, the acts in this game are violently long, which is a good or a bad thing depending on who you are. And wow, that thing got really close to me. Yeah, cause it really doesn't change nothing. It does, like, no, now there's 3. You don't yell about 3. Those aren't even really rocks. They're like wheels. Anyway, I didn't use Team Blast one time. Team Blast really doesn't come into effect until either boss fights or the later levels. Honestly, Omega Metroid, anybody who says SA2 is a bad game is either not really a Sonic fan or an idiot. And I truly believe that. Okay, like that may sound like I usually try to be. Well, no, I'm not. What am I talking about? I don't give a shit. But like in general, it's easily the best example of what a Sonic game should be, and I don't care what anybody fucking says. That only happened because certain popular people, not mentioning any names now, started saying that the game was bad, so everyone agreed with them like a bunch of fucking sheep, and I'm not dealing with that. Like, it's wrong, they're wrong, I know they're wrong, I know that game's fucking amazing, and it still is, and, like, maybe people got sick of it because, like, the fan base kind of overrated it, but admittedly, for the longest time, outside of this, which, let's be honest, nobody really likes this that much either, outside of a handful, and, see, I already got the emerald, you see how easy the first act was. Anyway, SA2 was all we had for 3D Sonic. I mean, it was that in SA1. So, I mean, the first time I remember people bitching about it was frickin', I'm gonna throw them under the bus because fuck them. Screw Attack. The first time I remember they're saying, oh, SA2 is pretty bad, but SA1's good. And I think people bitch about SA2 because they don't like Shadow, and if they don't like Shadow, they obviously haven't played the fucking game. Okay, and I genuinely believe that. Like if you say Shadow's a bad character, you haven't played the fucking game. Okay? Like, I don't believe you. Like, oh, no, you haven't. You haven't. Okay? Because you're fucking wrong. That's not even an opinion. That's a wrong statement. And I know you're wrong. Fight me. Alright? I mean, now, and Freak, that's a fair opinion, because even in Sonic Adventure 1, not everyone liked Knuckles' hunting stages. That's okay. The thing about SA2 is that there was something for everybody. I have a friend who thinks that Tails and Eggman stages are the best part. I don't like them very much. But, you know, the point was that there were 3 different gameplay styles, all done really well. And, you know, you could, you know, do whatever made you happy. Like, and that was good. Like, that was the best way to handle it. You know, it's not like today where, like, they keep trying to shoehorn in a bunch of different gameplay, or just focus on one, like, let's just do Sonic. Like, no! Like, that's not what was good, and you're listening to the wrong fucking people, okay? You know, unfortunately, the case is because of the way the fan base has been treated or has acted, like, there are people on this planet who will just always find something to fucking hate about a Sonic game, regardless of what Sega tries to do, okay? And they're not really listening to their fans whenever they, you know, change something, because the fans don't want them to change anything. The fans have been very clear about what the fans want, and Sega keeps listening like, well, what about IGN? No one gives a fuck about IGN, okay? Nobody takes IGN seriously who has any competence in terms of brain function, okay? Because IGN's a fucking retarded professional game company, and all they do is they either give in to their fucking corporate sponsors, or they say whatever gets them views, and that's it. And the professional review sites are the same way all across the fucking board. That's just a fact of life. That extends outside of gaming. You know, that extends to, you know, the corporate news networks. That extends to, you know, book reviews, movie reviews. Critics always say what people want to hear, and or what will get them views. So, you know, that's just the way it is. And, you know, I don't... That's just like, if that sounds cynical or edgy, first of all, I'm Darkness the Curse. I am edgy. Fight me.
Eggman escaped
Be-
into
uh,
the city.
Eggman's right.
And
Taking
cynical. You know what? It's fucking true, and I'm not gonna apologize for that shit.
The real